Alrighty, this is not really a how-to. It's more so uh, very, very, very indirect guide on how to wire up a atoto S8 for a WH Jeep Grand Cherokee. Okay, so WH is the I think it's the international model. At the very least, it's the model that we have here in Australia for the WK 2005 fucking 3.0 diesel, the OM642 engine. This guide allows you to have steering wheel controls, and it's all a bit all over the shop. Try my best to explain from left to right and explain exactly what you need and why you need it. Alright. So the fascia in the Jeep, if you have a normal radio, has these cutouts in it, and these cutouts are for the volume knobs. So you need another one of these things. I have this one. It's okay. Doesn't fit the best. These work great. They fit fine on the atoto. Mine didn't come with this. Which is a bit peculiar, but it did come with that. And that's not really needed in our case, but because the atoto comes with a harness, but whatever. Anyways, that would be handy for radio because it converts it from the Jeep antenna to ISO, and you need that for the atoto. Okay, so fascia, you need a fascia, and I'm not going to tell you how to take off the fascia because I can't be bothered filming it, but a very quick nondescript way how to do it is you need a plastic trim tool, you know, the ones that have an edge to it, like that. And at the bottom of the Jeep, in my case, mine is an automatic, so you have your shifter, and then you have a sort of chrome thing that goes around it, and then you have like the fake wooden trim like that, and then you have a fake wooden panel with your buttons for climate control and all that shit. So you get a very thin one of these, and you bump up. All these have a clips. They're just clips holding in the silver chrome thing. Okay, you do that, and then you get in with a plastic trim tool and take off this fake wood veneer, and then this thing is held in by clips. So all you need to do is get your little fake plastic trim tool and start prying it. Pry from the bottom first, and then you can pry from, get it out, and then pry from the top, or however you want to do it. And then once that's off, because this will come off, and then this will come off. All this needs to do is you pull on it from the front outwards towards you, and it will come up because it has little trims there. The reason why we need to do this is because there is a cigarette plug here and here. This one is always on. We do not want this one. We want this one because it is an ignition only cigarette plug. It turns on only when the ignition is on. This is extremely important because the atoto harness. So sorry, not the harness. The what do you call it? The Air Pro Jeep harness does not have this built in. You need to wire it up. And what I've seen a lot of people do is they steal a positive 12 volt ignition only from the cigarette socket. You just splice into it and then heat shrink or solder or do whatever you want to do, but you need to get it from there. Okay, this allows you to use steering wheel controls. There's a lot of wires here, but the majority of these you do not need. I'm basing it off the connections at the front, not at the rear, because I can't really track where these are going. So the pins that you need is, you need one ground, okay? You need this, which goes to the positive 12 volts. You need this, which goes to your steering wheel CAN B plus cable, and you will find that underneath your Jeep steering wheel in the steering column, and there is 3 screws which hold it in. It's a T20 Torx. You need a long thin one. Get in there, you take it off, and then it should just pop off. And you'll see 2 cables, 2 connectors, a yellow one and a grey one. Under the grey one, you need the white orange plus cable, and that needs to have a direct connection to the pink data cable. And possibly, yes, I believe this one I've forgotten. You need a positive 12 volts. Not a positive 12 volts, but oh, never mind. I've already done it. I guess I'm a bit of a dumbass. You have your positive 12 volts, which goes to a constant battery pin. Okay, that goes directly to the battery. It's always on. Okay, and you need the ignition one to turn it on and off. Yeah, so if this turns off, then this unit turns off. If it turns on, then this unit turns on. The data cable goes to the steering wheel CAN B plus cable, because on the Australian wiring harness there is no CAN B and CAN negative pins on it. They're empty. You need a ground. There are 2 cables here. You can use either one, doesn't matter. I think that's it. Yeah, I believe that's it. Okay, so that's really all. And then you also need this audio jack. So this thing has 2 ports. This one goes there and this one goes there. This cable, it plugs into the this thing here, and this audio jack is spliced into the harness on the brown pin, which is the steering wheel plus key, the ground, and the ignition pins. Okay, so I was mentioning the cigarette jack before. You have a cigarette socket spliced to the positive connection. I put a fuse, 20 amp fuse in mine. If the amperage is too low, the fuse will blow and your atoto won't turn on. And this needs to be connected to the ignition circuit. If this isn't on, then the atoto won't turn on. Okay. What else do we have? I think that's it. That's worth mentioning. Everything else, like the harness, works except for the speakers. So on the WH Jeeps, on the premium, on the limited trim, they come with a amplifier. So the atoto will say, yeah bro, I totally have fucking cables going to plus left, blah 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 blah. It doesn't. Okay, it's a fucking lie. So what that means you need to do is you need to individually run cables to the tweeters. I didn't do it because I forgot I had tweeters, but I got to figure out how to enable them. And also I think you probably, that's more complicated audio stuff that I don't know how to do. But when I did my speakers in the other car I have, I lost my tweeters, but I thought it still sounded fine. Maybe someone can say, oh, you're a dumbass, you don't know what you're doing, blah blah. I don't give a fuck. Alright? I got this shit to work, so I don't give a fuck. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, you need to run cables for the door speakers, okay? And this may seem like an impossible task. It really isn't. For the front doors, underneath the driver's side and the passenger side, you got to take off the door, the kick panels, and you'll see a rubber grommet like on the back of headlights that will pull out. It's round and it has a thing that says push on it, and it's black. It's probably about 2 inches wide, maybe 3. Get a screwdriver, a flat-headed screwdriver, and just pry it open. Alright, it'll pop out because it has a bayonet on it. Right, there's a bayonet on it, and then you'll see a connector that has, I think it's a small one up top and a big one there. You can push the connector in and it will fall into the car a little bit, and then I had like, probably, it was pretty sturdy wire, honestly. I ran some thick wire, It would have to be a couple thick, a couple of millimeters, probably at least 3 or 4 millimeters in diameter, positive, negative, and they'll glue, like they're the ones that are glued together, and then you can split them down the middle. So I pushed that through, and there's enough of a hole in this area we can look inside, and you can see the wire. And if you have long nose pliers, like tweezers that are at least a foot long, then you can get the tweezers. Where's my mouse? You can get the tweezers in here, and you can just pull it out, and you can feed the wires out that way. And if you want to be smart and complicated, you can feed them under the carpet. I didn't do it because I'm lazy, and I just want fucking speakers. I just want the car to work. So here, around here, where there's the carpet, the joints, and the bottom of the fucking trim, the plastic trim, this can be like, you can get your finger under it and pry it open, and here it's just empty, so you can feed your cable through and stick it out there, and then you can say what this is. You can say this is front right, and then you should have your two cables, your positive and your negative. Okay. For the speakers in the door, just do the battery trick. Just sort of get it, I think it's a 2-volt battery or something like that, and stick two electrodes on it, and figure out if it pops out, then that's the correct wiring orientation, right? So connect that to your positive and your negative. But I'm sure if you're doing this, I think you know what you're doing. Is there anything else that I needed to mention? I don't know. If you have any questions, ask me, and I'll see if I can help you out. But this is what I needed to do and to enable the atoto to work. So you need your 12 volts. You need this piece of shit for steering wheel controls. If you don't care, then don't use it. And then you need a face shield. But if you don't care, don't get it. Doesn't matter. But you do need, at the very least, this 12 volts. And then you have all these other bims and bongs. Fucking, you get like a microphone cable somewhere. Like throw these like little bings and bongs you can stick into this car, and then you just put it in, no worries. So yeah, that's how you wire up, very roughly, a atoto S8 to a Jeep WH-05. Do you have any questions? Ask me. Hopefully I can give you a hand. Sorry if the diagram is a bit fucked. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's right. Yes, from the audio jack. I mentioned this one before. So we have a negative to a negative, and this red wire here connects to the orange, which is the what's orange? Dimmer illumination, apparently. And then this white wire connects to the brown. Steering wheel key plus. So maybe I fucked up my own diagram. Potentially, let's have a look. I was just copying this because this is you get this harness, but it doesn't come on. It doesn't have like a pinned connection here. It's hard to tell. White to brown, red to that. Okay, yeah, that seems to be the way to go. So disregard that. Take the orange to that. I think that's the way to go. Anyways, that's the least of your concerns, because you already get one of these in the car. I just cut it off and spliced it into the other connection, because you get two of these. You get one which has pins and one which doesn't. Yeah, that's how you do it. If you have any questions, give me a hand. Oh, and these need to be set up in a certain way. You can look on the pack website on how to do it. If you can't feel, like, you just literally type in pack and the model that you have, and it should work. This also does not for the WH, because the pins are different. But there's a guy who has a WK. Where's my mouse? WK. There's a guy who has a WK, and he shows you which wire you need to feed into to get your steering wheel controls to work. Everything else should still work the same way. Okay, I think that's it. So yeah, if you have any questions, sorry if this is hard to follow, but I wasn't even gonna make a video on this, but I said fuck it, might as well. Alright, thanks, bye.